I'm Vin.
I'm Sori.
That's Booby.
And Vita and Chip and Colby.
Shout out to Khalid.
Yep.
Alayhi salam alaihi anhu.
Thanks for all your support, buddy.
Firdaus, inshallah. Khalid, this is SOEN. I think it's SOEN. The name of the album is Lotus, and the name of this song is Penance. Penance.
This just dropped, I guess, on, what, February 1st?
My man Alec, says, if you do something wrong, you have to make it up. Shout out to Mr. Alec, may Allah have mercy on him. Okay, so if you want to check out our timely topical
Commentary,
check us out at Middle America Vin and Sori.
Mm-hmm. If you want to see what goes on behind the scenes and see, we went out looking for shoes. Oh, somebody commented because you talked a little bit about the filing cabinet. They're like, no way does a filing cabinet weigh 100 pounds.
Oh, she was there?
Unless it's full.
She was there? She saw a filing cabinet?
It was a he.
He was there? He saw a filing cabinet? He's probably thinking those little office filing cabinets that you can, open and close, with one drawer, not freaking 19 drawers. I'm not even having this
19! Oh, anyway, if you want to see what our shopping trip for the sneakers, you just look up that My Sori Life and you can see that. You can also see Vinny playing Barbie Mystery with the kids. Alright, so here we go. This is the first time we've heard this band. So I am ready for what?
Yeah, it is the first time we've heard it. Well, I was like, where is this band from?
I don't know. It didn't say.
Did he do this for the $75 thing?
He did.
Okay, so there's a $75 Patreon tier, and you get to choose a song a month if you do it regularly. It's originally for
you don't have to
bands.
do more than 1 month. Some people choose to do more than 1 month, but if you upload and you go for 1 month, $75, you can choose a song. Some people are like, I just can't do more than 1 month. I'm like, no, you only have to do it. One payment of $75 gets you a song review. So
you don't have to do it at all.
Well, no, if they want to have the song reviewed. Unless they try to get like one of those golden tickets that you throw out. Look, on the Firesides. Firesides are on his channel, the Middle America.
Look, if people send me, hey, I want you to do this song, I want you to do that song. I mean, that's still a valid means of getting your song reviewed.
It's just less likely. Poor Rachel waited a month and a half past.
Yeah, but that's just because I didn't get the updates. But it's not less likely. Well, it's less likely in the sense that if you're in a Patreon alliance, obviously, then the chances of you getting the song that you want reviewed, if you can convince your alliance to go for it, is very high. Mm-hmm. Because right now we're doing at least 2 songs a week for the Patreon alliances. But if you somebody reached out to me on Instagram about a band, and I was like, oh, that's interesting, and boom, especially if it's a main stage type band from a band I've never heard before. Yeah. If somebody reaches out, there's been a ton of those where I'm like, oh, okay. Yeah. So don't listen to capitalist Sori. I will say though, if you do the $75 thing, then
it's guaranteed.
It's a guarantee. It's going to happen. But
I
just want to clarify because now people are reaching out to me on Twitter, Instagram, all that, and they're like, I know that Patreon's the only way, and that's not true. That's one of the reasons why we're not going to the 3 things a week thing yet. Because people have this impression that that's the only way, and that's not true. It's not the only way to get a song reviewed. No,
but it's the fastest way. And the other thing is, there's how many people are on our channel now? 100,000 people. Yeah. You can only do that for so many people where you randomly give them a golden.
Everybody knows that. I know that, but I just want to clarify.
If you want your song definitely done, then that's the way to do it.
But it's not the only way to do it. All right, let's go. Now
we'll be full time in 8 years.
We've got a decent amount of patrons. We don't need to force everybody onto Patreon to go full time. It's gonna happen when it's supposed to happen.
You're not forcing people.
Can we just listen to this song?
I've been waiting. You've been talking.
Oh, go. Boy.
Silence isolated, trying to stand on your own. Not even though you feel the leech that will feast off your blood.
Wow.
Where are these guys from?
I don't know. You keep asking me that.
There's this band that we reviewed. They were Colin's friend. Really liked them. They were supposed to send us some shirts. Where are our shirts
Oh,
at,
yeah.
bro? Where are our shirts, Colin?
That's right.
You're supposed to be their manager? You seem to have really enjoyed this song.
I did. I love the sound of it. It probably was too repetitive in the sound and stuff for you, but I liked it. I love the sound of it. And I love what he sounded like when he was saying, "Still your mind, your soul will find peace." But I don't think it necessarily sounded like it was a good thing. Like, in the dream you end and leave us, you'll awake without fear. Like, is the person gonna die? Kill themselves or something?
Yeah, it looks like
But I was just switching it to be...
It looks like somebody's drinking themselves into oblivion.
Yeah.
Sounds like they've got an alcoholic friend that's gonna end up destroying themselves. And
Yeah,
they
because
don't
wasn't there
care.
something about a cup? Sorry,
Yeah,
you gotta push over.
They don't
That's
care
it.
about the how it's affecting those around them.
Yeah.
You wear indifference as cover to hide the demise. Build up your walls, fill up the glass, let it bury your
Yeah,
cries.
that was the one, yep.
In silence, isolated, try to stand on your own. Naive and numb, you feed the leech that will feast off your blood.
Yeah.
Right? So it's some sort of
Yeah.
drug alcohol abuse
Yep.
that's probably going to end in this person's death.
Yeah.
And the people around them are extremely frustrated and sad and scared and angry at them.
Yep.
There's
Yep.
that movie Beautiful Boy, which I still refuse to watch, but it's about a dad with a son.
He's gay, right?
No, that's the other one. But the Beautiful Boy.
Oh, that was Boy Erased, I think.
Boy
that's what it
Erased,
said,
right?
yeah.
It's another one I can't watch. But Beautiful Boy is the kid's on drugs and the dad's trying to rescue him, and da da da. There's that back and forth, and I don't know what happens at the end of it, but I can't even stand the idea of being a dad and having one of my sons go through that.
Yeah.
But then I'm like, maybe I should watch it with the boys, with all of them, so that they can see, like,
What happens?
when we tell you not to mess with this stuff, this
Yeah.
is why.
Yeah.
But
Yep. Yeah.
you know,
Did you think that the pre-chorus was crazy? You're deceived by inner demons that will that you were
that were fed by
your own hand.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Because that happens to so many people, you know.
Well, any person who's in addiction is self-deceived. Mm-hmm.
It doesn't even have to just be an addiction, though.
Right.
You know, like some
What do you
people,
mean?
it could be hateful mindsets. It could be,
Right.
Vengeance, bitterness, any sort of like that, those dark traits that we have, you can feed those things. And you can feed those inner demons and they will feast off you, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty crazy that it's probably one of the most, I mean, alhamdulillah, we've never had that experience with an immediate family. Well, that's not true. I do have that experience with an immediate family member now I think about it. But it is the sort of anger that you feel to a person who is doing something that's completely destructive and they're doing it right in front of you, and it's kind of it's a hard thing because it's quote unquote their life.
Yep.
Right? So it's their life, but their life affects you, and their living and dying affects you.
Yeah.
And you gotta basically sit there and watch as the person completely destroys themselves, and then they're completely deceived. So they'll
Yep.
say things like, "This is the last time," or they'll say, "I am not addicted. I can beat this," and yada
Right.
yada yada yada
Right.
yada, and
I could stop it anytime I wanted.
yeah, and leave me alone. Da 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 da. It's my life. Yada yada yada, and it's very. So this song kind of has that type of resentment to the selfishness of a person who is in that situation.
Yeah.
And whether it's right or wrong to resent somebody who's in the throes of some destructive addiction is not the point. It's understandable. I think in a perfect world, sure, all of us would be understanding and completely compassionate and not worried about how losing this person is going to affect us and da-da-da-da-da, and we'd only be worried about the person. But if you love somebody, then you have a personal stake in their well-being, and it's hard to extricate yourself from that. And it's interesting because the song is called Penance, which is, penance is, what you do to atone for your sins. Now, obviously, as Christians, we believe that Jesus paid our penance. So if I do something wrong and I correct it, I'm not doing it out of penance because that's already solved. I'm doing it because I've hurt somebody or I've hurt God, but I'm not doing it to balance out my scales.
Right.
But the concept of penance is still stands as sort of this idea of you do something wrong and you got to do something, you got to pay to make it up.
Okay.
Why?
I remember when my meme would come over to our house, and if we were in trouble and we were in bed, and they're on penance? Why are you on penance? So, but she had a Catholic background, so the penance thing makes sense. I just thought that was another way of saying punishment. I didn't think that it meant, like, you were trying to, like, fix your wrongdoing. Like, I thought it was a correctionary tool. That's what it was.
Well, yeah, I mean, when the priest says do 10 Hail Marys or whatever, that's penance.
Yeah.
And it's there. It's designed to reduce your satisfatio in purgatory.
Yeah.
So satisfatio is the suffering of satisfaction that you do in purgatory. But if you do penance before you get to purgatory, then you don't deal with that suffering.
Yeah.
So what's interesting in the song...
So what's the penance then?
Well, here's the crazy part thing is that it seems to me that the penance this guy's going to pay is his life.
Oh.
That he's going to pay for his sins with his life, and that would be his penance.
Oh.
But he wouldn't...
Gosh, I think you're right.
He wouldn't have to pay that penance if he'd stop killing himself.
Yeah.
So it's a very ironic term to use for this song, you know. And it's kind of like, all right, buddy, you are gonna do penance, but you're gonna die, and that's what's. But the thing is,
that's what's gonna bring about your peace.
But the thing is, everybody kind of has to pay that penance when you do that.
Oh yeah.
So it's not just you paying the penance; it's everybody has to do that. So.
Yeah. And there's the people that have to find out, like the adults, and then there's the younger members of the families that have to be told, and they don't understand. Like the older people are going to get it. You know what I mean? Like the older people are going to be able to see, oh, that person's not doing good. But there was people that I would see as a kid that obviously had some issues, but I didn't pick up on it because I was a child. You know what I mean? So all of a sudden that person dies out of nowhere, in your opinion, as a child.
Right.
But it wasn't out of nowhere. There was some, It's not like you understand drugs and all of that stuff when you're young. I mean, I don't know, maybe they're teaching that in the public schools.
Oh my gosh, you are terrible.
No, I'm serious. Like, kids find out so much in the public schools, like, from their other peers and stuff. Like, I don't know. I don't think that kids know about that at a young age, but maybe they do. Our kids have a concept of drugs and drinking and stuff because, we did that ministry where people's lives were getting destroyed because of it. They saw it firsthand, You remember that time one of our kids, the girl, she didn't have much of her teeth because she was on those, doing those drugs. She was asking her, what happened to your teeth? I was like, oh, Lord. Because she didn't understand that was right at the beginning, and we had to have that conversation. Like,
yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Kids, man. They don't know, it's just to them. They're like, because I've been riding them hard about making sure they're brushing their teeth, or your teeth are gonna rot out. She was like, why aren't you brushing your teeth? I'm like, oh Lord.
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy. I've lost family members to this stuff.
Right.
Which that particular one, I knew it was going to happen before it happened. Mm-hmm. But it's an extremely frustrating situation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Extremely frustrating situation.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't wish it on anybody. I wouldn't wish that on anybody. And it's one of the prayers that I have, because I couldn't handle it if any of the kids had one of those. One of those issues. Mm-hmm. But But yeah, it seems to me that that's what it was. The musically, it was a little bit, like I said, there's no rhyme or reason. Sometimes I love repetitive melody, and sometimes
I knew you weren't gonna like this one though.
I was kind of dropping off, and then the heavy interlude came in. I was like, yes, and then I went back. It just seemed a little bit like, verse, chorus, bridge, type
I liked
of thing like that. So that hurt the scoring for me a little bit, but the point is well taken. All right. What do you give the song?
For me, it was a 10. I loved it.
It's 8.
I thought you were gonna say it was too preachy, but go ahead.
Well, I don't know. Maybe for somebody else it might be preachy, but because I've been a person in this situation multiple times with family members and people that we loved in our community, obviously it definitely strikes a chord.
Yeah.
For me, for sure. All right, so
10
you gave
for
it
me.
a 10.
What'd you give it?
Give it an 8. Good, solid, shiny 8. So thank you very much, sir. Appreciate you. Vin out.
Sori out.
Gone.